time on my phone. If that's cool, then I'm put on that. I'll put on airplane mode.
What? I'm sorry.
I was on top of my phone.
Oh yeah, yeah.
One thing about music, when it hits, you feel no pain. Like who say control your brain? I know better than that. That's game, and we ready for that. Two soldiers had a pack. Matter of fact, who got that? Where my army at? Rather attack and not react. Back beats. It don't reflect on how many records get sold on sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Or your records put on hold in the real world. We just people with ideas, just like me and you. Smoking cameras is superior in the real world. The role of the ballot is vote for the team best performatively and methodologically interrogates their relationship to whiteness. Again, to vote for the team best performatively and methodologically interrogates their relationship to whiteness. You can prefer this interpretation with three main reasons. One, because of the performance. A, I'm black before I pass any policy. B, that's the distinction that's made before I even say a word within the space. It's also the distinction that I can't separate myself from. And B, is that it expresses our unconscious forms of discrimination because we don't assume that we always assume that the way that what we say is going to be with the critique. We don't do the same thing with our actions. Two is that identity comes first. What comes out of my mouth is always subjectively interpreted by the pre-prescribed narratives that are always written upon my body. This is why when people hear hip-hop, they automatically call it misogynistic and capitalist without actually giving a fuck to even listen to the individual words within each rap. And three is that feel as solutions. Passing any policy within this space doesn't actually do anything for anyone or fix any problems. The only thing that we have is what we do and what we say and how we act within the space. Next is that debate don't fuck with me. Not now, not ever. It's a place that pretends to be free while knowing my identity, making me promise that this will be real world one day. Well, keep me from saying the shit I actually want to say. It's talking about the greater good and why we should value that most. What's the greater good and for who? White people, black people, both? I know the answer is definitely not me for sure. So fuck the topic and bullshit promises you keep restating. At the end of the day, I either say what you want me to say or I have to go. But trust me, that's not happening. Neither attempts to whitewash me. So here's my black voice loud and clear. My body was never yours for the taking. I'm taking back this coming field. Next is my body in this space. One, the position that we were asked to play is that perpetuates the genocide of black and brown bodies. The state controls the narrative of black and brown bodies to the point that we're always already socially dead because the narrative is always written upon our bodies. The state has stolen our individual subjectivity and stolen our individual subjectivity in a way that we can't function as individual human beings, but under an overarching narrative that was always in place of whatever action we take, forcing the debaters of color to defend the state, and the state action ignores and rejects the individual black and brown subjectivity, forces us to endorse the erasure of other black and brown bodies, and assumes that one can ignore the ways that the state has acted upon, that the state has perpetuated violence upon black bodies and written violence upon black bodies. Two is that the liberals that embody the debate community posit themselves as one who is anti-racist or against structural violence. This ignores how structures are created through individual action and ignores their and this allows for these anti-racists to ignore their to give themselves free pass, ignore their individual connection and relationship to whiteness. This leads to three things: A, false allyship, where people talk about helping and developing black communities without actually giving a fuck towards doing anything to help black communities. You just want to look like you're anti-racist rather than actually being anti-racist. That's the entirety of the debate community. This also leads to black promises where you talk about these perms that are ultimately going to solve, but don't actually do anything after you get the ballot. You don't actually give a fuck about the black body. You just care about winning the ballot and pretending like you do. B is that the liberals that are within the debate community are seen as anti-racist and anti-structural violence, they turn into a policing system that defines what oppression does and does not matter. This is not just distinct to white liberals. It's distinct to liberals throughout the debate community. But especially when I have another black body telling me that my oppression doesn't matter because of the fact that niggas are dying outside. C is that the inability to see how whiteness permeates the debate space like it did the plantation, and see the parallels between being physically killed outside and being socially killed round after round is the reason why this shit matters here. Partly is a killing field for the black psyche where y'all pretend to advocate for us until it doesn't benefit your perceived position within whiteness. This leads to the continuous murder of black and brown bodies' subjective experiences and engagement in the debate to the point where they're nothing but black flesh. Three is that the anti-black narrative fed to the state is always perpetuated through party. A couple of examples when people automatically hear hip hop, they don't hear hip hop, they hear black people music, and they assume that it's automatically anti-queer, anti-racist, anti-queer and misogynistic, without actually caring to even look at what I say or listen to what I say. Next, also when people hear hip hop, they automatically reframe it and then blame people of color for why Harley is dying. That the white people always try to displace the blame on black people for the problems that whiteness has created. It's literally just a perpetuation of the same tactics used in the 1960s to shut down the civil rights movement. If you want to know why Harley's dying, look in the damn mirror. Next is that when I have one of the most renowned coaches and one of the most renowned judges telling me that I don't know, that I'm not smart enough and I haven't read enough anti-black literature to be able to run anti-black arguments in a way that they seem as viable, there's no question that there's racism within Parley. 4 is that Parley perpetuates a system of oppression. We no longer people as people as arguments to the point where we no longer speak as people but as arguments to the point where that we always pretend to advocate for them, and we always run anti-black initiatives to the topic, but don't actually give a fuck about the black body and the black experiences. This leads to passive activism where people don't actually do anything but just try to act better and pretend like they're better without taking any action towards making the situation any better. 5 is a topic. This topic literally asks us to pass a policy to help to increase the corporate tax rate, which is ultimately going to be spun as helping minorities and ultimately going to be spun as helping those that are low income. At that point, these corporate taxes are never going to be fed into low income neighborhoods, meaning that we're always trying to, through even this topic, we're always trying to pretend like we're acting better and not actually doing anything better. Next, the debate is key. One is parliamentary debates. That's prevalent at many rural universities surrounded by conservative values that exclude any discussion about race. This is why this matters here. Next, that hip hop is key. And nobody says better than Killer Mike when he says that I've never had a religious experience in a religious place before. The closest I've ever come to seeing and feeling God is in the rap music. Rap music is my religion. Amen. He then goes on to say that this is funk, this is soul, this is jazz, this is gospel, this is sanctified sex, this is player, Pentecostal, this is church, front pew, amen, pulpit, what my people need and the opposite of bullshit. That's where the advocacy statement comes in. Vote AF to affirm my existence within the debate space. Next is hip-hop stalls. 1, voting AF affirms reclamation of my body from the social death that I've been through every single round. Voting AF is not only an affirmation of my body, but also an endorsement of the counter narratives that to be able to combat the narratives always written upon my body and open up a space for me to actually exist within the debate space. 2 is that hip-hop is survival strategy for people of color to exist outside of a world that rejected them in the first place. Outside of a world that rejected their existence in the first place. It's a way for me to redefine my narrative and exist outside of the bullshit anti-black narratives that are always perpetuated throughout Parley. 3 is that hip-hop is a voice in the hood and it allows for a unity within the hood, a rallying cry to be able to reclaim spaces like debate for people of color. 4 is the audible version of tissues forming organisms, like particles splitting. My volatile, be wary of me. I'm the spawn of the sun and the earth reborn, a hologram. I have messed around and opened up a goddamn portal splitting. They call me VC because I'm greasing rappers on their turf. And plot revolts will quote me later, say I hardly spoke, because I'm a quiet assassin with a passion for fire. Leave the victims catching breath inside the smoke. This is revival of that Bible rap, Harlem City. Epitome of street survival rap, hard and gritty. Allah's math, the swag they can't master. Cast from the plaster of evil pin, yet God is with me.
Was the question when you asked for a copy? Because I can do that, but there's just
No, not a copy.
Okay.
3 off, case. Probably same order. All signpost.
Give me a second. Okay, 3 off and then after order?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I need more than 1 page for any of the off?
None of them are criticisms, so no. Well, one time, you should only do 1. Alright, ready?
Yep.
First off, this is framework. A is the interpretation. The affirmative must be in the direction of the resolution. The affirmative must be in the direction of the resolution. B's violation is that they literally are antithetical to the topic. They just choose to run together. They completely divorce from the entirety of the topic.
Here.
I'll get it. Okay. But I do need your time. That was fun. Alright. C is standards. Bonus diversity is that when we only run one position, we never get a diverse discussion, which means that we never learn how to solve different issues. The statement is inevitable, and the U.S. federal government is also inevitable, which means we have to be able to engage with the state, but additionally to engage with different communities, which means that you are only using one type of app that kills all diversity. Second argument is going to be research as well. When you are only this kills the incentive for research because you're only incentivized to research one topic, and you never actually look at other argument is going to be education is that when we don't get any education, there's no value to debate, which makes your access to the space irrelevant because we're not actually getting education whatsoever. The second argument is competitive equity, is that when we can't actually engage, that means that we never get a good discussion or clash in debate, which means that advocacy is just passed through. We never have access. That would always inherently exclude two of the debaters from every single debate you compete in, which means that that is an exclusion itself. The next argument is evaluate this to competing interpretations, which means look at the standards debate to determine who has the best interpretation. Next, also kind of theory. They can't perm. The first argument is that perms are legitimating the surrounding interpretation is that they don't have a plan and we don't have a counterplan text. The perm system test of competition exists within a fiat policy world of viewing debate, and this view the surroundings as competing activist strategies. Which team best combats systemic oppression? The little aids that allowing them to spike out of the PMC performance is dishonest towards the affirmative because they no longer have to stand by the thesis of their argument. This negates all their solvency because it takes the literature out of context, meaning they can't access the PMC if they try to perm. The second argument is that the perm answers the impacts of the Avalon pedagogy of a model that allows any oppositional strategy for countering systemic violence to be included in the affirmative, promotes simulation, and rejects difference, ensuring that the dominant strategy that was presented first always wins. This selective incorporation of oppositional discourse is exactly what the state and racist institutions do, which means that this would turn the entirety of your app. The third argument is that the perm kills any ability for critical debate, which over an important issue like your affirmative for any clash to happen, the app has to allow room for competing strategies that will be weighed against the out-of-solvency mechanism. The fourth argument is that our interpretation is best for jurisdiction. Little b is that this solves judge anguish when you have KOK debates because a lot of times they don't know how to weigh this. The little b is that this allows for the post and clash and in-round education and fair division of ground law, including important social political positions and advocacies. This means that if there's no perm in the MG, that you will compare the strategies against each other to weigh the impacts, and if they do perm, it becomes an independent voter for fairness and education. Next one, counter-advocacy. Sign the ballot negative as a commitment to building critical feminist alliances. Sign the ballot negative as a commitment to building critical feminist alliances. We'll get into it. The first argument is self-reflexivity. We're calling for individuals to be self-reflexive and understand that there are points of privilege and we have intersectional identities that allow us to have points of privilege, but additionally not points of privilege. The second argument is invitational rhetoric, is that we are inviting individuals and the judge to join the alliance and to combat patriarchy in the debate space and masculinity, which means that we can solve for more individuals. This creates a spillover effect. But the third argument is consciousness raising. This is important for learning about systems of domination and structures. This encompasses both race and queerness and heteronormativity. Probably means that we would have a better ability to educate individuals on these power structures. The fourth argument is that we are the micro and the macro political, which means that we solve more than your affirmative because you literally just have to for the ballot for yourself, but we say that we have to be able to bring people into the movement and to look at the macro as well. This is like our alternative. It's calling for things like creating mentorship programs for individuals who are disenfranchised by debate. The fifth argument is that this solves the affirmative because feminism is intersectional. The masculinity permeates every oppressive structure. Angela Davis says that the politics of location identifies the radically specific differences and similarities across diverse and asymmetric relationships, which means that we can look outside of this, but the little b is that feminist and hip-hop coalitions are, especially key, because women are always pushed out of feminists or out of the hip-hop sphere because of the masculine domination. They literally just read Kendrick, which is a masculine, a hyper-masculine hip-hop, but additionally they don't look at like Salt and Pepper or other feminists. What?
They don't read Kendrick.
Oh, sorry, not Kendrick, but like they don't like look at other feminist hip-hop movements. Case. First off, they say we don't listen. I did listen, and you're talking about the military and attacking probably a pretty hyper-masculine hip-hop performance, which means that you don't get to link out of any of this. You can't sever out of your performance. Literally, your first verse of hip-hop talked about how you need to attack in the military, probably very masculine, but the next argument is a distance of the role of ballot. We say that our performance is any performance in the debate, which means that any speech I can fit under this, but additionally, distance of the performance is that we don't have to provide a performance, just the counter methodology. We should be allowed to include the criticism, because this is the best way to be inclusive. You would turn your own affirmative if you say that we only interrogate whiteness, but there's more power structures that would never be able to be solved for. We can look to black feminism that we're like, they have like historically been pushed world to actually endorse, because otherwise we're just endorsing one individual in the round and not exclude out 3 other individuals. But the next argument is the terms that the public says that if you don't critique hypermasculinity, you recreate the imperialist, white supremacist, capitalist patriarchy. This props up hypermasculinity bell hooks blames the imperialist, white supremacist, capitalist patriarchy for creating hypervisibility that allows for masculinity to exist, which means that we can not only resolve your argument, but it also links to our criticism. The next argument is that hip-hop glorifies capitalism. Individuals who rap and use lyrics that glorify owning certain objects. The method of the affirmative recreates the carnival of capitalist spectacles in which the periphery and observers are. What? What does this say? Also, identity coming first is bad. We turn on this because you literally create forced outing, because then debaters have to come into the space with their identity. What if I'm a bisexual woman who doesn't want to actually say anything about it and can't come out because there's violence against it? This creates violence against the queer body, and you ignore the intersections, but additionally you, what on your affirms? First off, you can't tell because this doesn't affirm, but the second argument is going to be a diss out of tokenism. You saying that only I should be affirmed means that there's other debaters of color that would always be pushed out, and it leads to oppression of other movements. This is exactly what white feminist movements, when they tokenize certain individuals and allow them to take the media spotlight, you probably create more disadvantages for other debaters of color.
Sorry. Break that fast. Alliances?
Alliances, okay.
To building critical feminist alliances.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry, my handwriting's like kind of trash.
It's okay.
Trying my best.
Okay. So, I am going to go to the framework, like direction of the resolution.
So, your framework?
Well, they're
The direction,
They're like
direction,
totality.
yeah, direction of the
after the direction of the resolution. Then I'm going to go to they can't perm argument. Then I'm going to go to their like criticism type argument. And then I'm going to give a brief overview of the PMC and then the PMC.
Do you want the brief overview of PMC on this paper? Or do you want to at the top?
You probably just have to quote at the top.
Okay, just theory, no perms, advocacy. Oh, this. You're right. You're good.
Doing everything just in the order it was done.
Sometimes it just takes a little bit of like moving around, like, oh, it's in order.
Yeah.
It works.
Okay. Is anybody not ready? Good? Okay. Reasons to reject framework. One is the utilitarian framework. You justify through framework always justifies the rejection of alternative forms of expression, meaning that these spaces will never become open. Second is it trying to justify through the guise that parliamentary debate is dying and that we're making it worse is bullshit, because white people will always displace blame on people of color, which ends up pushing them out of movements, which is going to happen through the feminist criticism of the LSE. Also, through their performance of whiteness legitimizes both A, conditional ethics that exclude people of color, and B, the exclusion of the narrative of people of color within this space. 4 is that framework was created literally by people who didn't like the Louisville Project, which was the project that brought performance to policy debate. These people that didn't like it literally invented framework to police people of color out of the space because they kept losing. 5 is that if debate is dying because it is blackening, then that would prove that it would be intrinsically racist, and if we cannot combat that, then it will cease to exist, and if that's the case, then like let it die. Next is that our role is valid as a competing interpretation, because if they're gonna get up and say that like we have to defend the resolution, then that would be like it doesn't work. We can't do both things and interrogate our relation to whiteness because we'd have to defend the actual resolution. But they say we just have to be in the direction of the resolution. We are in the direction of the resolution. We tell you specifically, Inmer tells you in his performance how increasing the corporate tax rate is always done under the guise that it's going to be the money is going to be redirected to low-income communities and communities of color, but then that never actually fucking happens, which is literally just like the guise that we have fixed something that is passive activism. It doesn't actually do anything. Yeah, we are in the direction of the topic. We are meeting this. But if they get up and say that we have to defend the topic and like shift, then we say that that's violent because we have to identify as oppressors. Okay. On their standards First of diversity. This is literally laughable. People of color can't be within this space. They're constantly being pushed out of movements, just like the one the LOC is trying to start, because if we don't start from the black position, they will always be excluded. They say the United States federal government is inevitable, so we have to engage in it in order to understand it. But what real world knowledge they're talking about is a real war for people of color, because they will never be able to engage. Also, it is definitely possible to understand the United States federal government without engaging in things like identifying as your oppressor, but rather in finding other forms of knowledge production, like Ingmar does through his performance. They say that this kills incentive for research. No, I would say it spikes incentive for research, because people want to learn about people of color and their oppression in the space, and their oppression in general. It probably makes them look up hip hop and look up the lyrics that he talked about, which probably makes them understand more outside of the round two. So we say that it increases research. They say that the topic is key for predictability, but literally the only thing that's predictable is that people of color will constantly be moved out, pushed out of the space. Also, yeah, question.
Were the lyrics yours?
Some
One
of them were.
mine, one was Sharaf, one was Dead Prez, and one was Killer Mike.
Oh, did you
Yeah.
cite them in the PMC?
I mean, I decided like, I decided one of them was Killer Mike, but I mean,
Okay,
nobody cited anything.
can still look up the words of the lyrics. Okay. Next they say limits, but first their limits are white, because you see legitimate knowledge production when it begins and ends at corporate media or state, which means it is always going to have a black agenda or anti-black agenda. Also, second is that this is an impact turn to predictability, because predictability is just sameness, and sameness is just a reification of whiteness within the space. They say that rules will always exist, because I say that they're a productive time. People of color have always systematically been silenced. I think Inmer deserves the last 30 seconds of his speech, right? We say that we are defiance of the system that constantly pushes people of color out of the system, and if that means that he has to use tools that have been used against him, then like so be it, right? Like, we are in defiance of the system, and this is the way that he is able to affirm his identity. They say that we lead to a sanitized space, but that's only true if they choose not to engage with the argument. So we say that this isn't a sanitized space, but rather it is a space where people of color are allowed back in, back into the space. They say that switch side debate is good, but we tell you that there's no topical way. Do I do that argument?
Yeah.
Okay, we say that there's no topical way to run this argument, because
I shouldn't be limited to only running this on negative ground.
yeah, he shouldn't be limited to only running this on negative ground. He is oppressed no matter what side of the resolution we are on, which is why we always have to open up space for people of color to be able to exist in the debate space. They say voters, this is not priority, but I say that the biggest priority is the literal access to this physical room, which people of color are systematically being pushed out of, and even when they are inside of it, they are automatically seen as less credible when we talk about policy debates, which is why that's the actual priority issue. They say education, but their education is bad because it is entrenched in whiteness, and the fact that we need to try and push people of color out of the space, and we say that that's necessarily bad. They say competitive equity, because we are excluding two other debaters from the debate space, but like, that's not true, right? Like, they can engage in hip hop, but also Inmer is literally always excluded. We have to open up space for him and other people of color to exist within the space. They say to judge it based on competing interpretations, but first of all, we're meeting their interpretation, but also remember that our role of ballot can be a competing interpretation. Do you want anything else on that?
No.
Okay.
Wait, no, back on framework, they say access is irrelevant because there's no education. Access is the only way if you turn a link to everything.
Okay, back on the framework, they say access is irrelevant because there's no education, but we say that access is an internal link to education. If people don't have access to the space, then it will always be this sanitized space that they critique, because people of color will not be able to come in and share their perspective, which means we will never be starting from the point of the marginalized populations or people of color, so that we never get that perspective, and everything we ever talk about is always whitewashed.
It's always a question of who that education is for.
It's always a question of who the education is for. Okay, on the perm thing, I need to answer this if I don't perm. Okay, so I'm not gonna make a perm, so we're not gonna be disingenuous, we're not gonna ensure that the state first wins, whatever. We're not making a perm, that's not gonna be offense. Okay, go to their FMK. They say to sign the ballot is a commitment to building critical feminist alliances, but we say that if we don't start from the positionality of the person of color, they will always be excluded from movements, because like, people will dictate, just like the white feminist movement, what is and is not a good woman, or what is and is not a good person, and that's going to automatically exclude people of color, because they are always systematically seen as someone who is less than, because of the unconscious biases that we have. So we have to start from the positionality of color, otherwise this is literally just another white feminist movement, which is really bad. Also, they say they're going to look to reflexivity and see their privilege. This is literally the liberals' argument that Inmer makes, that we think that we are being good liberals, and we think that we are being anti-racist, but we're not actually doing anything to stop this. This is to oppress people of color, which is why we have to start from the people of rhetoric. The white feminist movement also used invitational rhetoric until they thought that someone was not a good woman, and then they used invitational rhetoric to everyone who was not that good woman. What?
And whiteness uses patriarchy to hypermasculinize the black body.
And whiteness uses patriarchy to hypermasculinize the black body, which is literally white feminism. Okay, they say that they are encompassing all dominant structures, but that is absolutely not true, because if you don't start from the positionality of people of color, they are never seen. They say that they are micro and macro, but that is bullshit, because that is always fiat. I don't have time. That is always fiat. Yeah, that is always going to be fiat, because they can't actually physically change anything that's outside of this room. They say that they're solving the affirmative because masculinity permeates literally everything, but I say that we have to prioritize people of color, and they say that women are constantly pushed down and talk about Kendrick and stuff, but first of all, we don't read Kendrick. Also, second of all, we read Ciroc, who is literally a very strong feminist hip-hop artist there, literally.
And how hip-hop builds coalitions.
And hip-hop builds coalitions so that things like this can exist. Okay, go to the PMC. They say that hypermasculinity in hip-hop is going, because we talk about attacking the military, that's not true. The first verse is about how we have to be proactive about racism, not reactive. Second, they say this has performance because they should be able to read a K. Your K is a performance. We don't say you can't do that. They say that they solve for other things, and we are recreating exclusion, but that's not true. They say spectacle, the hypervisible, but if Inmer is affirmed, then that's not being passive.
Okay, we're going to start with here. Same word. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
You're gonna what?
Same word. Sorry, I have my sheets labeled pretty badly, so I'm trying to organize this. Somehow I got my sheets all out of order in a same order debate. Oh, this is the ad. Okay.
I was like, this has been a really clean debate, so
just
don't ruin this.
I've been flipping the sheets over. This is the ad.
Oh no, you have it. This is like the cleanest debate I've seen all weekend, so
Okay.
I'm happy. Pressure's on though now, I guess, because I just said that. So.
Pressure's on.
We'll do our best to keep it up.
I've been pressured since 1984. Sorry, year I was born. All right.
God, that makes me feel old. Okay.
83. No, I don't know what it is. Actually, I'm better. All right.
Speaker points going down.
Everyone good?
Joking.
First argument is that we're going to be agreeing with the rule of value in the sense that, well, we agree. We said that the alternative is going to be, yeah. Oh, we did.
We are in
The first argument I want you to send across is we think that they are in the direction of the resolution. We are going to be articulating that building feminist coalition is going to be always better, especially when you are dropping turns on the affirmative. But the next argument, the only argument that they could go for that they're in impact turn, but we are winning arguments about specifically about why feminist coalitions in debate are always excluded, which probably an indication that this is a true argument about how they're impact turning the education argument. The feminist coalition is always going to be resolving the impact turn in this debate. But secondarily, this is only a necessary check for the negative to have access to the round, which is the reason why there's no terminal offense on this particular sheet of paper.
Also, none of their terms are linked because we do engage with their.
Secondarily, none of the terms are going to be linked because we engage with their performance specifically on the affirmative, which they undercover in the MG, which is a mistake in the MG. But the next argument, the last argument is that the access to the internal link to education. We would argue that the internal link to education is this kind of access, but our advocacy is always going to be something better for because building feminist coalition in debate is always going to be allowing for these kinds of coalition, that basically this education to occur outside of the debate space, which means that we have a sequencing question about who gets to this education first. Turn the sheet. Do you need anything else?
I just want the framework. This is you compare the strategies against each other, what are the impacts?
Right. Extend across the number 4 argument, which means that you're going to be comparing the strategy.
It's the underview to the sheet.
Oh, sorry, the underview to the sheet that Grace reads in the LOC. The underview to the sheet, which says that you're going to be comparing the strategies to see which advocacy is always going to be better in the ball. If you're winning turns to the affirmative, then you always are going to be evaluating the critical feminist alliances first because this is the internal. We literally solve the internal, especially when they're not reading arguments about how we do not solve the impacts of the affirmative on the advocacy page of the negative, which means that you're always going to be evaluating this first. Yeah. Our advocacy. Their first argument that we don't talk from positionality and how we only recreate this white feminist movement. You probably should have listened to the bell hooks argument talking about how the reason that this kind of hypermasculinity happens in the first place because of the whiteness that happens in necessary capitalist patriarchy, especially within hip-hop. This is the work that we're reading on the case that I'm going to cross by here. But additionally, they talk about how they'll include people of color in our movement. This is simply not true. You just characterize as white feminist feminism, but our arguments that feminist coalitions are internally breaking down hypermasculinity and breaking down the conception that the black body is constantly being hypermasculinized. This is internally to being able to solve for this thing, but secondarily that they say that they're going to be less than we're just a white feminist, but you should not be essentializing race identity, but secondarily that you should not be essentializing the position. And we are reading specific words from individuals who do not identify as white feminists, which is probably the reason why you should be evaluating this first, but secondarily they talk about how this is just a liberals argument, but our first argument is that feminist coalitions is not the liberalism argument that they're talking about. We are saying that your ballot is an endorsement, it's a commitment to building a critical feminist alliance and debate. This means that you will actively try and allow women to be included in the debate space in order to try and break down the constant hypermasculinity that happens in the debate space. This is the solvency arguments that we're reading about how we need to be self-reflexive not only in round, but out of round. Our argument is that out of round solvency is always a prior question to the in-round solvency, because what happens out of round is necessary, because our kind of interactions that happen between each other is necessarily anti-feminist, because we say, well, they ran this bullshit feminist argument against us, and then we go out around and say, well, that was trash and that was garbage, but these kinds of things need to be prioritized in the debate space, because constantly feminist coalitions are pushed out of the debate space because of the necessary hypermasculinity that happens. But secondarily, our invitational rhetoric is always going to be invitational rhetoric. This solvency point number 2 is always going to be better. Solvency for the affirmative, because invitational rhetoric allows for individuals to come into the debate space, but secondarily, it is going to be better than a rejection, which is the alternative. Which is the alternative to having invitational rhetoric.
Also, send across that this resolves the affirmative, that this is an intersectional.
Extending across the number 5 argument how this can be solving the affirmative, because this is the kind of intersectionality that is needed to be. But the fourth argument, the micro-political debate, only articulated about via our argument is that in the debate space and outside of the debate spaces and war to build these kind of feminist coalitions. Initially, there's no permutation, which means that they have no access to the macro-political, because they are reading arguments about how they are only macro-political. This is the advocacy coming of the PMC will be a shift to the PMR. But next argument, I want you to send across the feminist hip-hop, and this is necessarily about individuals who engage in hip-hop, who happen to be identifying as feminists, are constantly pushed out of hip-hop movements because they are not considered hyper-masculine enough, because they're not vulgar enough to be in these kinds of debate space, in those kinds of hip-hop space, particularly they're talking about how they're reading arguments from Sirach and how that person indicates, but the argument here, they're reading arguments about how Sirach is identified as feminist hip-hop. But the first argument is that you are not identifying Sirach in the PMC. In fact, you only identify one individual out of the multiple individuals that you're reading hip-hop from, which probably means that you have an internal no link to your solvency, because you are not identifying hip-hop artists who you are pulling the lyrics from. But additionally, that feminist coalitions resolve the kind of in the space. All right, your question real quick.
Cool. So why do you have to be vulgar to function within hip-hop?
That's not the argument.
Yes,
it's
the argument is that you're not hyper-masculine enough to be in hip-hop. So why do you have to
that
be vulgar?
hip-hop pushes out women because they're considered too vulgar, and because some of your hip-hop does. I mean, also, you have to defend your representations. And
You can cite my representations.
Affirmative. The first argument I want you to send across the hypermasculinity of the lyrics, they are literally talking about how the necessary war, how we need to be power structure and to answer that for the war. But their first verse is the hypermasculinity that happens to be constantly bad. The next argument, we read it just to be about our performance. We do not read necessary performance because we do not believe that.
It's fine. They're giving us access to our.
Sure, they're giving us access to our methodology, and our speech acts are the performance.
Extend the formatting on identity means that any of their priorities.
Extend across the identity, forced outing identity arguments, which means what? I'm sorry.
Which means that creates violence against people if you always put identity first.
Which means that it creates violence against individuals because they're always going to be putting identity first. This is the uniqueness for spectaclism argument about how individuals in the debate space win and are reading personality arguments and identity arguments, and those individuals are always going to be put on a spectacle for individuals to consume, and that's kind of capitalist patriarchy that continually happens, the bell hooks argument as well as the spectaclism argument. But the
highest rate of suicide was after gay marriage was legalized.
Secondarily, the highest rate of suicide was after gay marriage was legalized, which is a good indication that this kind of hyper-spectaclism leads to these kinds of things. But next argument I want you to send across that the term that the after spectacle makes it hyper-physical. Basically, what happens is we only allow for this kind of consumption to happen in the natural licensing, which leads to this kind of moral licensing argument that they're talking about, which means that there's a terminal drop turn to the entirety of the firm. But the next argument is that turn we have to kind of critique these hyper-masculinity with rape. This kind of argument is what Bell Hooks argues about how we need to be able to critique the necessary hyper-masculinity of hip-hop so we can actually resolve this. I'm sorry.
There is no affirmation. This just relinks into the argument that the means to passive activism means only recreate the impulsive graph.
There is no solvency in this instance because you lead to passive activism, which leads to no solvency for the affirmative, and it means that the negative advocacy is always going to be resolving this. Next argument I want you to send across the dissat of tokenism, how individuals in debate will say that they necessarily affirm your identity and your but will then say that but using a saying like we've solved these problems in debate because you are put on a pedestal and allow for this kind of tokenism to happen in debate. There's a terminal impact to this that will allow that turns the entirety of the case because the kind of resolving of this in the debate space is consistently happens because we tokenize individuals. This is the arguments about how white feminism necessarily tokenize black bodies in order to say, look, we solve these kinds of race issues, and now we have to focus on just that.
All right, it's going to be an overview, then it's going to be case, and then the negative method. We're going to be winning this debate because the only unique arguments that they have on our counter methodology are answered by the case arguments that go conceded in the MG. Don't allow new arguments in the PMR because we don't have a chance to respond to them. But the first argument, which is why we're going to be, like, one of the reasons we're winning, is that identity coming first is bad. It excludes individuals and it creates forced outing that creates violence on populations. The warrant for this is gay marriage. When there was a hyper-visibility over it, it led to the highest rates of suicide and violence against the gay population, which is a terrible thing that occurred because of forced outing basically happened in the hypervisibility. These are the spectacle arguments that straight turn everything that they are arguing. But additionally, it's not just in the gay community that this happens. It's also in race arguments or when you force individuals to put their identity out there. That is the type of framework that forces identity to come first. This matters because all of the arguments on the counter methodology are based on identity. One, those arguments are wrong because we're not running white feminism, we're running radical feminism, which comes out of Bell Hooks and Angela Davis, which means that we are creating intersectionality, and you can see that we are intersectional, which means that we aren't only white. But two, it means that your role on the ballot isn't that all of your identity arguments about your alternative are bad as well because you're asking for a singular affirmation of one individual, which forces identity and forces the other debaters to identify, which creates violence in the community, which means that if we are talking about the debate space, that violent impact against individuals is always going to be worse. Also, they can see the dissad to the alternative or to their advocacy, which says that affirming one single body, their advocacy says vote have to affirm my body. Affirming one single body leads to tokenism that rejects other individuals' oppressions because it says, I'm going to focus on me. This is the type of mass media movements that focused on white feminism when it got into the academy that led to the oppression that happened with black feminism and the hypermasculinity only continuing. We can see the impacts of it today when everyone demonizes feminism as only being white. That is not our advocacy, but that is what the affirmative tries to characterize it at. When they try to say that we are only white feminism, we're just not. You're not listening to the counter methodology. You're not listening to the warrants that we're reading. You're not listening to the intersectional arguments about consciousness raising, including race, gender, queer. It means that we are including all of this. Additionally, it means that we can resolve our problems in the debate space because we are asking for invitational rhetoric, which doesn't recreate the problems of passive activism. Also, they can see the fact that their solvency, or that asking for a single affirmation only allows for passive activism because after this round, nothing happens. They have absolutely no spillover arguments that would occur after a round, which means that only leads to the moral licensing and recreating the oppression that they're talking about because we can all walk away from this round like, oh cool, I voted for that one team, I'm doing great. But our advocacy asks for spillover arguments for participation of oppressed debaters in every aspect of the debate community, trying to build mentorship programs and critical alliances that allow us to include more people, which means that not only can we resolve your affirmative, but we can also resolve independent impacts of the hypermasculinity. They're going to go for, I don't have access to the space. They don't get that argument because we are reading that we can resolve their affirmative and that we can get access to the space for multiple identities. Focusing on one singular identity is the problem. We have to be intersectional if we ever want to make the debate space more inclusive, which means that we have to be able to look at the counter advocacy. First off, all other arguments on the counter advocacy aren't going to matter because they say that you have to prioritize the black body first. We argue that that can be necessarily bad, but additionally, their argument that whiteness uses patriarchy probably indicates that we have to be looking at masculinity and the way that it affects us if we ever want to resolve the affirmative means that you can't actually access this, but also extend across a fifth point. This is not only
That argument was not answered in the last speech. The whiteness frames patriarchy. There was no answer to that.
Yeah, it was. I prompted him. Also, I'm not
What was
making
the
a new.
argument? I'm asking what the argument was then, if you prompted me.
About the whiteness, it's the extension of the fifth argument, which is the exact same cross application I'm using right now.
All you said was
Also, can you answer, can I answer, and then can we have the judge rule? Thank you. Also, I'm saying what an argument in the round means, which is just impact framing in a rebuttal.
Under consideration.
Which means that we are a precursor to this, but additionally, we have a net benefit to our counter methodology that you can't access because we spill over to the macro political sphere. You don't answer these arguments. Don't allow the PM artists to come up here and answer these. Also, we allow for invitational rhetoric, which leads to more solvency because people feel welcome and will actually join the movement.
Cool. It's going to be an overview, the criticism, and the act. Also, bring up the framework page.
Their framework.
Yeah,
Their direction of the resolution.
I'm extending one of the reasons to reject.
And for the overview?
Yeah, for the overview.
After you do everything.
It's very brief, so you can just like set it aside.
Yeah.
Everybody ready? The emphasis that's going to be winning this round from UT Talent for a few main reasons. One, because of the framing. They never answered that the question of being able to access the debate space is a prerequisite to any discussion that we have within the debate space. My ability to reclaim this space and actually exist here has to come first before we can even talk about these feminist coalitions. So that means that I wouldn't even be able to exist within these feminist coalitions. That's always going to be a prerequisite, which means like, you're always going to be voting for the PMC. And two, is that the forced outing doesn't exist for people of color because there's no closet for people of color. And that's at the top of the PMC. I can't hide my blackness. I can't, like, there is no, like, yeah, I can't hide my blackness. I'm forced, there's always forced outing for me. Three is that their out-of-bounds solvency is fiat. We talk about how we only have control of what we do and what we say within this round. That's the only thing that matters. They don't answer any of those framing questions, which means you're only going to be voting off of what happened within this round and how this round changed anything. At least how this specific round is functions. Four is that there's no that their movement is white feminism, and at the moment that they read framework as the tool of whiteness is already co-opting the movement and began excluding women of color. They give no counter knowledge production. Let's go on to framework. Extend the fact that the performance of whiteness is legitimized through both conditional ethics and that exclude people of color. At the point where they can kick their white actions, I can't kick my blackness. I can't take my skin off and pretend like like I'm not black. That's literally what they did by running framework. When they perpetuate white tactics to exclude the black body out of the debate space and then just kick it and pretend like they were never from a white starting point in the first place. This is why they're going to be white feminism. Why they're from a white starting point. Now let's go on to the critique. They literally answer that whiteness is a patriarchy by saying we cite bell hooks. That means we're not white. That's literally the argument that we utilize black authors to perpetuate for our white agendas until the point that it doesn't benefit your perceived position within whiteness. You're always going to be voting on the fact that they literally just use the black body in terms and without actually analyzing what bell hooks says, because the whiteness that uses patriarchy to masculinize the black body is literally from bell hooks' We Real Cool book that talks about black masculinity and how whiteness frames masculinity before masculinity is even defined, which means whiteness is always a prior question. They don't answer any of that. They literally just say we read bell hooks.
The argument that our authors are, like, the turn on our authors would be new because the LOC has the specific sites that talks about the authors, and the MG doesn't answer.
So my response to that would be that you never use the authors as a reason why you aren't white feminism. That was in the book.
Yeah.
So
Under consideration.
Cool. Next, they say that we essentialize race. No, we essentialize the tactics that y'all are using. Not essentialize. Yeah, it's not essentializing at all. We call out the tactics that they're using. First of all, they start from a white starting point from perpetuating whiteness and white tactics through framework. But secondly, they also can see that whiteness frames how the patriarchy even functions, which means that it's always going to be a prerequisite. So you're always going to be looking at our role of the ballot first. Then they say that out-of-round solvency is the most important, but they don't do anything out of this round. They don't do shit. They literally talk about building coalitions, walk out of this room after getting the ballot, and then don't give a fuck about these black feminist bodies outside of this space. That literally.
The argument that we don't do anything out of round is brand new.
It was in the sorry, his point of order is not done. It was in the solvency under the micro and macro that says that this creates spillovers and mentorships that was in the LOC.
Cool.
I extend no fiat that it literally does nothing outside of the round constantly throughout.
And then also in the PMC talk like the passive activism argument is always extended, and talking about how you utilize black bodies is always extended. So.
Under consideration.
Now, let's go into invitational rhetoric. I don't have to invite you to, Actually, that doesn't do anything for you. They say that, okay, the one argument where they say that feminine bodies can exist in hip-hop because they are forced to be vulgar is an essentialization of the black body, is another link to the PMC as to how they erase my individual subjectivity without actually giving a fuck about the words that I had to say within my rap. They didn't point to one rap that essentialized being vulgar, that used being vulgar as a way to have an upper hand. Literally every single one of my, like, at the point where they're essentializing the black body and erasing my individual subjectivity within the round, the impacts that are happening within round are literally seen throughout the debate.
Prioritize truth over technical debate.
Prioritize truth over technical debate. At the
Their
point where they're
movement is
completely,
white feminism and ignorant cannot be heard in this round.
at the point where they link to the entirety of the critique of the PMC, they have no access to any of their solvency because once they already perpetuate this perpetuated whiteness and the essentialization of the black body and the erasure of the black subject means that they're never going to be able to exist outside of this white feminist framework because that's literally what they did from the starting point. Now let's go into the case. They say that spectacles turn the app. We didn't answer the argument, but our argument is that it doesn't turn the app because the question of access always comes first. At the point where the performance of the 1AC is a way for me to reclaim this space, for me to have access to the debate space, that's always a precursor to the way that other people are going to interpret it. I don't give a fuck how you interpret it. I give a fuck about how I use it to utilize this space as a way where I can actually exist. They don't answer any of these solvency arguments. Extend the fact that hip-hop is key to the reclamation of my body at the point where it's key to the reclamation of my body and to actually even be able to exist within this space. That's always a prerequisite. You're always going to accept all the reasons to prefer the role of the ballot because one, whiteness always frames patriarchy. Two, performance always comes first, and therefore they perform whiteness throughout the rounds. Three, that identity always comes first, and that their arguments that that tokenizing, cool, it tokenizes. I don't care about whether other people perceive my oppression in a tokenizing way. I care about whether my oppression is able to be mitigated by my performance of the 1AC. They don't answer any of the solvency arguments, which is a prerequisite to any of the critique. Absolutely all the time.
You don't want to share?
I mean, if you wanted to.
I don't.